Hello, I'm Chandra Waller, your Santa Barbara County Chief Executive Officer. One of the most critical functions of county government is to create and implement an annual budget. How do we take on this large and difficult task? Where do we receive our funds, and how do we decide where those funds will be spent? That is what this budget video will discuss. With changes to the budget plan beginning this year, there is no better time to inform and work with our county residents about our budget process. To give you an idea of what the budget process accomplishes each year, this year alone, Santa Barbara County will recommend a budget of more than $800 million in expenditures. That is money that will be spent to make our county safe, protect our children and families, and ensure sustainability of the quality of life we all enjoy. One of the priorities of this year's budget and of the changes to our proposed plan is to enhance the clarity and transparency of information for the public. This video is one example of how we're doing this. I encourage you to watch, be informed, and then participate in the process. The county's annual budget is your annual budget, and we hope after watching this you will have a better understanding of how we make it happen and how you can play an important role in the process. Thanks for watching.
When I buy a cup of coffee for $1.50, a tax of 12 cents is added and then sent to the government. The government then uses that money to provide for public safety, parks, operating schools, and a host of other things that residents need to enjoy their daily lives.
So who makes the decision of what to do with this 12 cents? And how do they make that decision? They decide through the budget process, and part of that process is budget deliberations, which happen every June in Santa Barbara County. While the county's budget process never stops, the second week in June is always dedicated to the adoption of the budget for the upcoming fiscal year. When the Board of Supervisors adopts this year's $800 million budget, they decide how money from nearly $207 million general fund is spent to provide services for the over 400,000 county residents.
In the public sector, the general fund is the money that is not set aside for a special purpose. When the government talks about balancing the budget, they usually mean the general fund money, which is used for day-to-day expenses. For the next 15 minutes, we're going to provide an overview of the 2012-2013 budget book with a focus on proposals for how general fund money is distributed.
The key to democracy is an informed and participative public. We are presenting this video to promote civic participation and help you better understand the budget process.
In May, the County Executive Office releases the proposed annual budget book. The County Executive Office is run by the County Executive Officer, who is the top appointed official in county government. The budget book outlines the CEO's plan for implementing policy and opens with Section A, which is the County Executive Officer's message. The CEO's message contains an overview of the proposed operating plan, provides explanations for what the county's priorities are, and reviews the economic conditions which helped shape those priorities. As the sections progress, the information becomes increasingly detailed. Section B contains the county statistical profile. This section presents a graphical and statistical view of local demographic, economic, land, environmental, and social factors that impact budget and policy decisions. The statistical profile also compares these statistics with those of benchmark counties that share common characteristics with Santa Barbara County.
Section C is titled Summary Schedules, and it says how much money the county has and what the county wants to spend that money on. It provides an integrated overview of revenue and expenditures, funding sources, staffing trends, and how the various funds balance and relate to programs. The total amount of revenues coming into the county this year is a little over $828 million. 90% of those funds come from three sources: federal and state revenue, charges for services, and taxes. Of that amount, $28 million, or nearly 3%, will be committed towards future uses. The remaining 97% will be divided among the county's 7 functional groups. Policy and executive is proposed to receive 2%, law and justice 5%, public safety 26%, health and public assistance 37%, support services 8%, community resources and public facilities 18%, and general county programs less than 1%. The general county programs budget contains those programs and projects which are not directly associated with one specific department.
As we said earlier, in government budgeting, the general fund is the money that is not set aside for a special purpose. When the county talks about balancing the budget, they usually mean the general fund money which is used for day-to-day expenses. So the $200 million general fund is about a quarter of the $828 million county budget. The bulk of the budget book consists of Section D, which provides the board and the public detailed accounting for each department's goals and objectives, program of service, related revenues, staffing, and recurring performance measures. This will in turn help them make more informed decisions on how to apportion the $200 million general fund. The first page of each department section provides an organizational chart, information on the number of full-time employees in the department, the source of funding, and how those funds are used. The following pages are more detailed, with information that shows how the department's overall budget is allocated to specific divisions or programs for previous and future years.
The Policy and Executive Functional Area is made up of 3 departments: the County Executive Office, the Board of Supervisors, and County Council. The purpose of the Policy and Executive Functional Group is to provide quality public services in response to the need for a safe, healthy, and sustainable environment, and to establish and maintain a workforce which reflects the diversity of the community. The budget proposes a general fund contribution of $12.7 million, which equals 6.2% of the total general fund. The bulk of the funding, 60%, will go to the County Executive Office, while 22% will go to the Board of Supervisors and 18% to County Council. Some of the policy and executive's accomplishments were the identification and reservation of ongoing funding for the Northern County Jail and the advancement of the county legislative platform to maximize local revenues to support critical services, programs, and facilities.
The Law and Justice Functional Area is made up of 3 departments: the District Attorney, the Public Defender, and Court Special Services. The Law and Justice Functional Group believes that the public is well served when individuals have equal access to justice as well as fair and timely resolution of cases. The budget proposes a general fund contribution of $27.7 million to Law and Justice, which equals 13% of the total county general fund. The bulk of the contribution to Law and Justice, 45%, will go to the District Attorney, while 25% will be allocated to the Public Defender and 30% to Court Special Services. Court Special Services supports Superior Court in matters of dispute resolution, legal interpretation and application, and the protection of the rights and liberties guaranteed by the Constitutions of California and the United States. There are no full-time employees funded by Court Special Services. Some of Law and Justice's accomplishments included creating a unit designed to vertically prosecute welfare, workers' comp, construction and insurance fraud, and representing 72% of persons charged with felonies and 59% of those charged with misdemeanors, most of which were resolved in less than 4 months.
The Public Safety Functional Area is made up of 3 departments: Sheriff, Probation, and Fire. The Public Safety Functional Group believes in the protection of life and property through highly competent delivery of emergency response, law enforcement, custody, and rehabilitation services that increase the safety of residents and visitors. The budget proposes a general fund contribution of $99.7 million, which equals 48% of the total county general fund. The bulk of the contribution to public safety, 70%, will go to the Sheriff's Department, while 25% will be allocated to probation and 5% to fire. Fire receives a smaller amount from the general fund because 56% of their funding, or $29 million, comes from fire district property taxes, and 16%, or nearly $9 million, comes from contracted fire protection services. Major accomplishments from public safety were the award of a $60 million grant from the state for construction of a new North County jail, the eradication of nearly 60,000 marijuana plants from 17 illegal grow sites, with an estimated street value of $120 million through a joint partnership with the Department of Justice and other local agencies. The implementation of an automatic vehicle location and mobile data computer project, ensuring greater command and control on emergency incidents and enhanced firefighter safety. And reduced admissions to the Santa Maria Juvenile Hall by 14% by diverting 645 youth to the Alternative Detention Program.
The Health and Public Assistance functional area is made up of 4 departments: Social Services, Public Health, Alcohol, Drug and Mental Health Services, or ADMHS, and Child Support Services. The Health and Public Assistance departments promote the strategic values of accountability, customer focus, and efficiency by working collaboratively to prevent disease and promote health, provide for accessible physical and mental health care, and advance the economic well-being of the community. The budget proposes a general fund contribution of $19.1 million, which equals 9% of the total county general fund. The bulk of the contribution to health and public assistance, 48%, will go to social services, while 36% will be allotted to public health and 16% to alcohol, drug, and mental health services. Child Support Services receives no general fund money and receives 2/3 of its funding from federal revenues and 1/3 from state revenues. Health and Public Assistance's accomplishments include implementing Public Health's electronic health record system at all healthcare centers, Child Support Services exceeding performance goals set by the state in paternity establishment, order establishment, current support collections, and collections on cases with arrears, as well as improved performance on these goals from the prior year. Social Services developed and rolled out the successful Subsidized Work Experience program, and ADMHS trained 35 consumer and family peers in the 10-day Workforce Education and Training Peer Support Training, which was recognized by an award from the California State Association of Counties.
The Community Resources and Public Facilities functional area is made up of 4 departments: Community Services, Planning and Development, Public Works, and Agriculture and Cooperative Extension. The goal of Community Resources and Public Facilities is to efficiently provide, operate, and maintain public works infrastructure, facilities, parks, and services to make everyday life as safe and convenient as possible for the public. The budget proposes a general fund contribution of $14 million, which equals roughly 7% of the total county general fund. The bulk of the contribution to Community Resources and Public Facilities, 44%, will go to Community Services, while 27% will be allocated to Planning and Development, 19% to Public Works, and 10% to Agriculture and Cooperative Extension. While Public Works receives $2.7 million in general fund contributions, that money is only 2% of their $109.7 million budget. Community Resources and Public Facilities accomplishments include the installation of 4 yurts and 4 cabins at Kachuma Lake and 7 cabins at Halama Beach, which generate revenue to support parks operations, and Public Works completion of the annual flood control maintenance plan on time and in advance of winter 2011, in addition to the completion of the 6.3-mile Santa Maria River Levee Rehabilitation Project. Planning and Development coordinated the dissolution of the county's redevelopment agency and development of a successor agency. Agriculture created a bilingual program to provide outreach, education, and training to the agricultural community to enhance communication between stakeholders and improve regulatory compliance by presenting trainings in a more appropriate and relevant manner.
The Support Services functional area is made up of 5 departments: the Clerk Recorder Assessor, General Services, the Auditor Controller, the Treasurer Tax Collector, and Debt Services. The Support Services Group provides essential financial, technical, and administrative infrastructure to external customers and the county organization that enables achievement of the county's mission. The budget proposes a general fund contribution of $25.6 million, which equals 13% of the total county general fund. The bulk of the contribution to Support Services, 34% will go to the clerk recorder assessor, while 29% will be allocated to general services, 24% to the auditor controller, 10% to the treasurer tax collector, and 3% to debt services. Due to the nature of its internal role charged with promoting fiscal integrity, the auditor controller is 80% funded by the general fund. Support services accomplishments includes the auditor controller earning the Government Finance Officers Association Award for Excellence in Financial Reporting for the 20th consecutive year. The clerk recorder assessor's consolidation of precincts in the county from 318 to 259 to create savings in the cost of precinct supplies and poll workers. General Services completion of construction of the Emergency Operations Center, the Public Defender remodel in the historic courthouse, and the Santa Maria Court Clerk's building, and the Treasurer Tax Collector's completion of a major redesign to the property tax payment website that includes many features that provide a personalized website experience for taxpayers and increases efficiencies for Treasurer Tax Collector staff.
Section E contains the capital budget summary, which is the recommended 5-year improvement program for capital projects like flood control channels and basins, county buildings and clinics, new roads and bridges, parks land acquisition and development, sewer lines and lift stations, and bike lanes.
Section F is titled Financial Policies, Budget Process, and Legal Authorization. It details the legal authorization that shapes the content and format of the budget and the adoption process. The remainder of the book includes a glossary to further educate the public on many of the acronyms and definitions used in the budget process and an index.
At the beginning of this video, you learned that public information involvement are important goals of Santa Barbara County government. We hope that by learning about the budget process and understanding the difficult decisions that go into creating a balanced budget, you feel assured that your money is hard at work for you. Now the time comes when you can take that knowledge and use it to impact the budget decisions that are made in our community. Let us know what is important to you and get involved, because in the end, we work for you.
At the beginning of this video, we asked you who makes the decision of what to do with the 12-cent tax from this cup of coffee, and the answer is you. You've watched the video, and now not only can you read, but understand the county budget book.
On June 11th, 13th, and 15th, the CEO will make the budget proposal to the Board of Supervisors. During the final part of the budget process, the supervisors will make recommendations to change or accept the CEO's proposals.
For more information on the county budget and proposed service impacts, visit www.countyofsb.org and click on the budget link.
Consider attending one of this June's meetings so you can become part of the budget process. Thanks for watching this video, and as always, thanks for watching CSB TV Channel 20, your channel for county news and information.